Hi guys, welcome back to Gráinne's Home and Kitchen. So today I'm going to make a Dublin dish. This dish is called Coddle, and those of you from Dublin will be familiar with it, but just to give you a little bit of my background. So my family hail from the country, so my father's family is from a little village in West Limerick called Tournafulla, and my mum is from Callan in County Kilkenny. So I was born in Limerick, and then when I was a young child we moved to Dublin. So I was reared in Dublin and I would consider myself Dublin, but my parents are country folk. So I actually didn't have this dish growing up because my mum wouldn't have been familiar with it. However, she did discover it in later years, and she made it on a rare occasion. And my mum was an incredible cook, so she added great flavour to everything. So it was absolutely delicious. But my first encounter with this dish, I went to a city school in Dublin. It was right in the inner city, and it was called King's Inn Street for anybody who is watching from Dublin. And on Saturday mornings, it was a convent, I should say. So on Saturday mornings, we would go to the flats, they were called, and we'd go to the basement and we'd make coddle for the old folks. We can't say old folks anymore, but that's what it was called. So we used to make coddle for the old folks. They would all come in and have their dinner, and those that couldn't come in, we would take the dinners to them. So this happened when I was doing my Leaving Cert, so when I was about 17. So that was the first time I had ever seen coddle. I'm going to show you how to make it, but I'm going to put a twist on it. So guys, those of you who are born and reared in Dublin and whose parents were born and reared in Dublin, it's going to be slightly different. I'm not going to stray off the recipe completely, but how it would have typically been made and how we used to make it for when we used to do the lunches for the old folks was we would boil the bacon and the sausages and the onion and the potatoes in water. We wouldn't fry them first, we wouldn't brown them, so literally everything in it looked very white. Now, so I'm going to tell you what I bought. So you need to have a good quality sausage. Now, Irish sausages are the best in the world. I'm sorry, there's people out there, they're probably going to say, no, you're wrong, ours are the best. But Irish sausages are superb, especially the likes of Super Quint sausages. So they're hard to get here, and I'm not a fan of sausages in Canada. But we have, believe it or not, British stores, and they carry an Irish sausage. So this is the way they came in. I bought cocktail sausages today. I could have got the long links, but I decided to get cocktail sausages because I just thought it would be easier to dish out. And they are not 100%, but they're pretty close, and they're actually very good. Now they're expensive. For this pack it was $8.50. So once in a blue moon I think it's okay to splurge, but they are absolutely delicious. Now you can use bacon, so at home you'd be able to buy some like collar bacon, you know, and you could chop it up and you could have a nice chunky bacon, but they actually made it with rashers, now, which is bacon. So in Ireland our rashers are more like a female bacon. They're not a streaky rasher, although in hindsight I'm thinking they may have made this with a streaky rasher. So I bought this bacon in Superstore, and it's actually called old-fashioned style baking, and they're lovely thick slices. So it's not the regular pack that you buy, but this is kind of like a specialty pack, and it's beautiful and thick. So I bought that because I thought it would work better for the coddle. You're also going to need a nice large onion, some potatoes, some parsley, and I'm going to use chicken stock. Now, there's no set recipe for this, guys. I can't say to you you're going to need 400 grams of sausages and whatever. So you just would judge this for how many people are eating. So I'm making this size, so this will probably feed 3 or 4 people. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to peel my potatoes, and then I'm going to take you over to my frying pan, and I'm going to just brown the sausages. I'm not going to cook them, I'm just going to quickly brown them so that we don't get that boiled sausage look. Okay guys, so I'm just going to cut the rashers up into 4. These are lovely, look at how thick they are, and they're smoked, and oh my goodness, they smell so good. You can see here I chopped up my potato, I cut up the links of the sausages, and I'm going to chop up my onion. Oops. This is a nice big onion. If you have small onions, you can use 2 or 3. You don't need to dice the onion. You can just cut it up into bigger chunks than we'd normally use, I guess, for the dish. Okay guys, so I'm not going to fully cook the bacon. I'm just going to render it a little bit so that I can get some of the fat off of it to cook the sausages. Now typically how they would cook this is they'd cook it on a very slow heat. So they would either boil it or they could put it in like the equivalent to a Dutch oven, so an oven-proof dish, and cook it very slowly, or like I'm doing now, I'm going to put it in my crock pot. So you have many options for cooking this. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, they would not fry the bacon nor the sausages. They would just put them in straight. But I'm just going, really all I'm doing is I just want to add a little bit of colour, just so that it looks a little more appetising. We're not used to eating our sausages looking white, right? So this is a modern twist on the Dublin Coddle. And just see now I'm getting some of the nice fat off of this. I don't want to fully cook it, but maybe give it a little bit of a browning. And I think that's enough. I'm just going to take that out now and I'm going to put it into a bowl and then we put it in our crock pot. So I pop my sausages in. And I just want to just give them a little browning before. Okay, so I think that's enough. I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to pour grease and all in there, guys, because if we were boiling it, we'd get all that fat in there. Now, guys, over to our crock pot. So we're going to add our bacon and our sausage. We're going to add our potato and our onion. We won't need to add salt because the bacon will be quite salty. Put some parsley in, about half a teaspoon of parsley. We're just going to cover it. We don't want a lot of excess liquid on the top because we want the potatoes to act as the thickening agent in the coddle. Okay, so that should be plenty. So I'll just give it a little stir to mix everything through. And with the lid on, there will be a certain amount of steam in there to cook it as well. And I'm going to just leave that cooking for a couple of hours. And I will be back. Okay guys, so my coddle is well and truly cooked. It's been on since 2 and it's 6 o'clock now. So it smells delightful. I did add a little bit of extra potato because I don't think I had enough in there. So I just chopped it up really finely and added it not that long ago actually, but it is cooked because I put a knife through it. So I'll show it to you there. It smells so good. Now I'm going to dish it out, guys. Okay guys, so there is the coddle. I'll just zoom in. And it just smells so good. And if you see there in the background, guys, I also made some sourdough bread. So Kieran and I are going to sit down now and have a lovely dinner. So guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Take care, guys, and I hope you give this a go.